there friends, and thanks for joining me. And this is Tawny, the Frugal Green Girl, and I have a quick question for you. Do you like to laugh at other people? Don't feel bad, it's okay, we all like to from time to time. And actually, there's no reason to feel bad this time because I'm actually inviting you to laugh at yours truly. Because I have made some frugal fails in my day where I tried to save money and it actually backfired or just did not work out very well at all. So I want to share those with you and then the lessons that I learned from those things so we can hopefully learn from one another as well. The first one would be some furniture I bought on Craigslist. I'm a big fan of used furniture and I really don't think there's too big of a problem with it as long as we thoroughly look over it. But this time I was kind of in a hurry and didn't really do the due diligence that I should have been doing. I walked in the house and it kind of had this like light cigarette smell to it, but I didn't really think anything of it. And went ahead and bought the item and brought it home. And that light cigarette smell that was in the house was definitely stuck to the furniture and it would not go away. It was awful. I tried baking soda, putting it on there, leaving it overnight, vacuuming it off. That didn't help. Sometimes vinegar can help. Spray that on and let it dry and evaporate off. That didn't help. I fought this, cigarette smell for quite some time before I finally even decided that that furniture was just going in the basement and not what I had originally planned for it to do. So that time I learned that definitely don't go shopping in a hurry. And secondly, always make sure to thoroughly inspect items that we're buying. In fact, I would even go a step further and say I'm not even going to buy things used that I can't thoroughly inspect. Things like, appliances and things like that. If I can't see it, actually working, I'm probably not going to buy it. In fact, I sold a microwave not long ago on Craigslist, and the woman who came over to buy it asked if she could try it out. And I said, hey, no problem, because, I know it works, so I had nothing to hide. And so she actually made some microwave popcorn in it before she bought it. So, hey, no problem there. I always inspect items. Very important. The next one would be an old vacation we took a long time ago. My husband and I took kind of a later honeymoon, and we went down to Mexico. And we decided we wanted a nice, cool adventure down in Mexico, and so we actually didn't book any kind of hotels. We didn't book a resort, nothing like that. We just took, bought some airplane tickets and just kind of showed up with our backpacks full of clothes and some money in our pockets to hang out in Mexico. And that was way too much adventure. The hotels we ended up getting were really inexpensive. They were like $15 to $20 a night, but they were really sketchy. Like the first one, it sounded like there was like a gunshot in the middle of the night and it scared everyone and it was just not very good. So I would definitely be a little more cautious obviously now because we have a family. This was way back before we had any, responsibilities hardly at all. So yeah, too much adventure. Frugal fail, definitely. Alright, number 3 would be an old Mercury Sable that we bought. My husband's car had basically died and he was being really how do I put it, really eager to get something else. And so we were looking through the internet and with the money that we had to buy, it was like, well, there's only a certain amount of cars, available. And so we went and looked at this one, and they're older people. What could possibly go wrong? They probably took really good care of it. They have all these maintenance records. It's well within our budget. It had fairly low miles. And we were like, okay, fine. We'll go ahead and buy it because we were in a hurry to buy. And you know what? That car lasted almost exactly 1 year, and then the head gasket went out. And if we would have done more research, we would have known that those types of Mercury Sables had that as a problem that they frequently encountered. So definitely the one that I learned from this one and had to learn the hard way, especially since how long it took us to save up money to buy a car back then. It took us a long time to save up that kind of money, is that I really need to look extensively into larger purchases. I look into all the other purchases. That was one of the ones where I kind of failed and was like, all right, well, let's just do it and hope for the best, and it did not work out for the best. So definitely don't make that mistake. Larger purchases take tons of time, research, and don't make these, decisions in a hurry, because sometimes when we make, hurried decisions, that usually means, or decisions out of desperation, they're usually bad decisions. Please learn from our mistake on that one. The next one would be an old Harbor Freight greenhouse we bought. So we put this thing together. My sister-in-law's parents had one just like it. And they actually had theirs collapse under the snow load. And so I was like, okay, well, it sounds like it would have been a nicer one if we would have just, had better framing or something. So we actually bought a Harbor Freight greenhouse. We put it in our yard at our last house, and we reinforced it with some wood, and the thing never worked, like from the beginning basically. The door was hard to open and shut because it was a sliding door, and those are just not the high quality, types of doors you're looking for. It was super leaky. It did not hold the heat in very well. The panels were super thin. It really just did not work for us in our climate. And while it never collapsed under the snow, it's actually still over at our old house. We moved away from it. It never worked as a greenhouse. We ended up using it as a storage shed. So the thing we learned about that is that you kind of get what you pay for, unless you find a good deal on something because you're getting it used, or if it's an end of the year clearance type thing or something like that. Finally, some Craigslist tires. I bought a set of tires on Craigslist for $100. Yes, $100. A whole set of 4 matching tires on Craigslist for $100. My dad kind of cautioned me away from doing that, but I was like, I really want to try this out and see how it goes. And my car was a 4-wheel drive, so I needed a matching set, and so we went ahead and bought it. And while they worked out really well, none of them were out of round or there wasn't any major issues with them, they were slightly dry rotted because they were older, and you couldn't really tell that when you first got them or when you were trying to inspect it. And so I ended up paying the price for that over time, because in the wintertime, at least once a week, I had to fill them up with air, and it was just such a pain in the butt. I would definitely not go that route again. And so what I learned from that one is definitely to take expert advice on things like this. My dad worked in a tire shop for years, for Pete's sake. I mean, he knows what he's talking about. And if he cautioned me away from the used tires, while he said that was a good deal, $100 for a brand new set of 4 tires is definitely a super good deal. I think I could have probably gotten some, a used set of 4 or something else to where I got it within my budget, but didn't have to do the hassle for so long. So there you go. Hopefully you got a good laugh. Go ahead. Again, I totally invited you to do so. But I would also like to know what kind of frugal fails you guys have had over time. And, maybe we can learn from each other and hopefully not make these same frugal fails. Because being frugal is good when it saves money. But sometimes it doesn't always work out like we plan. So anyway, I'm Tawny the Frugal Green Girl. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.